Notice, the views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the individual speakers and may not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel. Levi Trumbull reporting from a cornfield somewhere in Hagerstown, Maryland. We won't disclose. Here today with Shaun Porter. We have updates as it relates to the missing man, Shawn Hall, from Hagerstown, Maryland. Shaun Porter is here today, and I understand there is a lot on your mind that you want to talk about as it relates to your former neighbor. So what's going on today?
Well, first update is they found his car in Prince George's County on the Prince George's DC line.
We're talking about the maroon red Ford Fusion?
Ford Fusion. And so they found it, and the carpet was removed from the trunk. The carpet was there before he went missing. The carpet has been removed. Subsequent to him going missing, the car was abandoned in like a, I'm not going to go too much into the location, but they found the vehicle. They have the vehicle. And then the truck that Shawn Hall had financed for a potential business venture with this guy, Boise Neal, also known as Boise Oshie, was repossessed because it was financed in the name of the missing, now presumed deceased, Shawn Hall. And there's actually been some updates in regards to witness tampering and witness intimidation by Boise Neal and by this Blackman fella, this Julian Blackman guy. He's the guy that had the pedophile type convictions for child pornography. Supposedly it was like a 9-month-old baby being raped or something. This guy is like scum of the earth if you read these public records. Both gentlemen have contacted an individual who they feel gave up all the information on the story. It's funny, it's totally not the person that gave me all my information, but I do know the gentleman. And he is actually a victim of Boise Oshie, real name Boise Neal. He's the fake lawyer who was taking money from people and then not showing up to court. You know, the guy is insane. So anyway, he had actually threatened this individual from a number, like a fake number, pretending to be an attorney, saying he was going to sue for defamation, and he was doing it at like 1 o'clock in the morning from a fake number and not in writing. And he was saying that you know, he's going to sue on behalf of the 3 defendants, which is the 3 people we discussed. Chris, the truck driver guy that was living there. Julian Blackman, he's the petter ass mother. And then, of course, this guy, Boise Neal, who is the one that everybody in town now believes is the murderer of Shawn Hall. There's no body yet.
So I want to back things up a bit. So his car has been found. Who discovered the car?
I believe there was, actually, I know exactly how it was found. I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay, but you said the carpet was removed.
The carpet was removed. You know, hopefully Shawn wasn't wrapped up in the carpet, but he probably was. What do I think about that? I'm furious.
I mean, let's think about this for a moment.
This is the nicest guy on earth, and these people victimized him.
I want to just slow things down for a moment. You're saying that one of these guys, Boise Neal, he's telling people he's an attorney, licensed attorney.
Yes.
He's not. I know that he's not, but he's passing himself as an attorney.
Right. I'm going to read you the conversation because he was harassing
You
my
had a
boy.
conversation. Oh, he was harassing your boy.
Yeah, so I contacted Boise directly. He wasn't messing with me, the guy that put out the video. He was threatening another guy who he thought gave information to me, the guy who in conjunction with you, put out a video. And he was very mad about the video, and he was threatening a defamation action and all that stuff. And everything we did and everything we disseminated was based on fact, public record, and it's newsworthy, and you're screwed. You can't get us on an effing thing, and I dare you to try. But let me explain exactly what I did. So I contacted the number that was posing as a fake attorney and I said, hello, Boise, would you be able to do a phone interview about the murder of Shawn Hall at 6 p.m.? He responded, this is Herbert Anderson. I was unable to find a Herbert Anderson online in regards to this issue with a number that matched. And we see you in court for defamation of character. So this is a lawyer that can't spell or use proper English.
Well, this isn't a lawyer.
No, of course not. It's Boise Neal. And at least that's my opinion. And this text will definitely be presented as evidence of slander against my client. Slander is spoken, libel is written.
Correct.
Okay? Both are defamation, but slander is spoken. And then texts would be libel, and print would be libel. And the thing is,
You must have missed that day in law school.
this isn't a publication. This is a text message between myself and this individual. And then I responded, he said, yeah, it would be evidence of slander against my client. Then I responded, ha, 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 you are a bad liar. Would you like to do an interview? Space, space, space. And then I put, I have 4 attorneys because that's about how many I speak to on a regular basis in regards to certain issues. Please serve me a summons and complaint immediately so I may prepare my counterclaim. And then I had a few spaces and I said, you don't even know what the legal definition of defamation is, you fucking punk convict. Now, I'm speculating that he's a murderer, and that's just my opinion based on the evidence that I have before me. I know that he's a convict. He did, what, 10 years or something like that? Some long stretch for armed robbery.
Correct.
And then, you know, punk is evident because he's not going after the people who reported on it that he's trying to stop. He's going after people he thought gave them information instead of directly to the source. And when the source contacts him, he goes radio silent.
So you're the source. Are you saying on the record that if anyone's got problems...
You see me. You come and see me. You may have disposed of his car in Prince George's County, Boise, if in fact that's what you did and if in fact you're responsible for it. But I am from Prince George's County, okay? So instead of picking on 58-year-old men who are preachers like Shawn Hall, why don't you come after deranged psychopaths like Shaun Porter? Why don't you come after someone that's going to put up a fight? Okay, because I'm not playing games with you, Boise. You want to come at me? I'm ready. You got all my numbers. I called from 2 different numbers. This guy don't answer. One of them is a Google Voice number. After this happened, then Julian, about an hour or 2 later, Julian Blackman, that's the pedophile. He actually started contacting the same guy and threatening him. And it may have been Boise pretending to be Julian. We don't know for sure. All we know is that the detectives have all the text messages. The detectives know that this is witness tampering and witness intimidation. They have all the information. I personally contacted Julian Blackman's probation officer today to let him know what was going on and to give him relevant information so the probation officer can take appropriate steps with this guy because he's out there trying to silence anyone that may give evidence to the state in regards to this case and the case of the fake lawyer stuff with Boise. But long story short, I called and I left a message saying, if you're threatening people and you're saying you're not involved, how come you were living in a guy's house and you had drugs in there and you were sleeping in Shawn's bed and you broke into his room and you broke into his safe and all this other stuff? If you thought he was coming back and he wasn't dead, you certainly wouldn't act that way. So clearly you have knowledge that Shawn Hall is never coming back. You must know something. You should just come forward. And then I called him a whole bunch of names and stuff and told him to come and beat my ass. After that, he said, who's this? I sent him a picture of me, and he's like, I don't know you, wrong number. And then he called me. So when he called, he's like, who's this? And I'm like, it's Shaun Porter. I'm Shawn Hall's former neighbor. I'm Shawn Hall's friend, and you murdered my friend, you motherfucker. And I just started chewing him out. I said, is this Boise or is this Julian? Which punk bitch am I talking to? And long story short, dude hung up. And then I responded to that last text with murderer. And I called back just in case the call wasn't accidentally disconnected. And he refused to leave actually answer the phone. And when I went to leave a message, the voicemail box was saying that it was full. I've got no further calls since that. So basically, these people are only contacting those who are afraid and who are easily intimidated. You don't do that if you're innocent. They actually tried to get back into the house. Julian went back over after we did our report and after the family took possession of the house, cleaned it all out and locked it. Julian tried to get back in. He's on security surveillance trying to get back into the place. So these people are clearly up to no good. It stinks to high heavens. I don't know why the national news hasn't picked up on it just yet, but hopefully that will change shortly. When the family took possession of the property back from them and got everybody out, they had actually been boxing up Shawn's possessions, like his Bose speakers and stuff, and were trying to remove them from the property, and it was suspected they were getting ready to go to the pawn shop with everything Shawn owned. So if this dude is not dead, and if these people don't know that he's dead, why would they just take all of his stuff? Wouldn't he come looking for it? Clearly these people have knowledge that they're not speaking on. Clearly, these people are involved in a murder, because there's no way he's been gone since May 28th without talking to his children, his neighbors, his missionary people in Africa, or anyone else that he does business with. It is just impossible. It's not possible.
So here's what I want to ask you. Do you have any concern about these people, because you are really holding yourself out here and making some
Come and
claims.
get me. Come and get me.
Is this your
Come
response?
and get me. Come and get me. Absolutely.
Okay. Where do we go from here, I guess is how I'll close out, because we've given an update. We still haven't found Shaun, a body or anything. Nothing of substance from what I understand. I asked you this before, and I'll ask you this again. What do you think is next here?
What I think is next is basically the cops are continuing to investigate. It seems like they're developing new evidence and leads by the day. I can't discuss everything that is going on because we don't want to tip these knuckleheads off. And I don't necessarily know everything they're doing, because it's not like they want to tell anyone. They don't want to mess up their investigation, and hopefully this report didn't disseminate any information that would harm their investigation. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. But basically, it's up to the police and the detectives that are busting their butt trying to find out what happened to Shawn Hall. And hopefully we find Shawn Hall alive somewhere, maybe disoriented, but I highly doubt it. At this point in time, we want justice for what happened to Shawn Hall. And this message goes out personally to Boise and his fake lawyer persona, where he tries to threaten people. I've argued a defamation court in the circuit court before Judge Scott Raleigh, so I know what defamation is, and I know exactly how hard it is to pursue defamation. I know that it's a disfavored course of action in the state of Maryland. It's very, very difficult to prove, and all we did was report facts and public information on a newsworthy story. So this goes out to you, Boise, Julian, and anyone else involved, Brianna Crampton, any of you people. I think you're a bunch of punk, moist, and you all can go yourselves. And if you got a problem, you come and talk to me. Don't go messing with anyone you think are witnessing, because they're just telling me, and then I'm telling the cops on their behalf. How about that? You know what? Everything came from me. I'm your biggest problem. If you me, the whole case goes away. So come and kill me.
All right, guys. Very good, Shaun. Good job.
Nice seeing you again.
Nice to see you again.